Have you ever felt like your life is passing you by? You are not doing anything about it? You wake up late, scroll through your phone, play one game, watch one more video, and tell yourself that you will start doing something about it in a little bit. That little bit never comes. By the end of the day, you are lying there again wondering what you are doing with your life. Most people would say that you are just being lazy. They would tell you to be more disciplined to manage your time. The truth is, your problem is not about time management. It is about something. It is a part of your mind that is afraid of growing up. This part of your mind is like a child. It is scared of taking responsibility. This fear of growing up can stay with you for a time. It can stay with you into your 30s, 40s, 50s, and even 60s. On the outside, you may look like an adult. On the inside, you are still a child. You are afraid of taking responsibility. You are afraid of failing. So what is this childish part of your mind? How is it hiding inside you? To understand this, we need to look at the psychology of the man-child. The psychoanalyst Carl Jung used a term to describe this state. He called it the boy. This is a state where you are stuck in a cycle of procrastination and fear of growing up. When you are in this state, you are not stupid or incapable. You are actually very smart and talented. You are afraid of taking responsibility, and you are afraid of failing. You want to be free. You do not want to be responsible. You want to keep all your options open. You do not want to commit to anything. This state of mind is like living in a life. You feel like what you are doing now is not your real life. You work a job. You tell yourself it is just temporary. You live in a place. You tell yourself it is not your real home. You date someone. You tell yourself it is not the perfect person for you. You live like a spectator watching your own life pass you by. You watch other people taking risks, working hard, and achieving their goals. You tell yourself that you are above all that. You tell yourself that you are special and that you do not need to do what everyone else is doing. The truth is, you are not above all that. You are just afraid of taking responsibility. You are afraid of failing. You are afraid of not being good enough. You are using your freedom as a shield to avoid the reality of your life. So where did this fear of growing up come from? Why are you stuck in this cycle of procrastination and fear? To answer this, we need to look at your past. Maybe when you were a child, you were very gifted and talented. Maybe you were the kid in your class, or maybe you had a special talent. You received a lot of praise from your parents and teachers. You started to believe that you were special. When you grew up, you realized that the world is not always fair. You faced rejection, criticism, and failure. You did not know how to handle it. You started to procrastinate. You started to avoid taking responsibility. You told yourself that you were not good enough and that you needed to wait until you were ready. The truth is, you will never be ready. You will never be perfect. You will never be good enough. That is okay. Because it is not about being perfect. It is about taking responsibility. It is about facing your fears. There are 3 traps that can keep you stuck in this cycle of procrastination and fear. The first trap is constantly looking for ways to numb your awareness. You use entertainment, social media, or video games to avoid the reality of your life. You tell yourself that you need to relax. Really, you are just avoiding your problems. The second trap is being afraid of long-term commitment. You are afraid of taking responsibility. You are afraid of failing. You tell yourself that you need to keep your options open, but really, you are just afraid of committing to something. The third trap is having a victim mentality. You blame others for your problems. You tell yourself that the world is against you. You feel like you are a victim. You feel like you are not responsible for your own life. The truth is, you are responsible for your own life. You have the power to change your life. You have the power to face your fears. You can start by recognizing these traps. You can start by taking small steps towards change. There are 4 steps to help you step out of this cycle of procrastination and fear. The first step is to change the way you think about growing up. You need to understand that growing up is not about losing your freedom, about taking responsibility. You need to understand that commitment and responsibility are not chains. They are the strongest protective walls for your dreams. The second step is to embrace being ordinary. You need to start doing boring things with seriousness. You need to start taking care of yourself. You need to start taking care of your responsibilities. You need to pay your bills on time. You need to clean your room. You need to start doing things that you have been putting off. The third step is to practice exposure therapy with failure. You need to start taking risks. You need to start facing your fears. You need to start doing things that you're afraid of, and you need to start learning from your mistakes. You need to understand that failure is not the end of the world. It is a stepping stone to success. The fourth step is to find a structure that holds you accountable. You need to find a mentor, a teacher, or a community that can help you stay on track. You need to find people who can support you, and you need to find people who can push you to be yourself. These steps are not easy. They are necessary. You need to take responsibility for your life, and you need to face your fears. You need to understand that you have the power to change your life, and you need to start taking steps towards change. Do not let your potential stay forever. Start taking action today and start living the life you want to live.